everybody. You are tuned in to the Head to Head podcast with your host, Mo and O. It's your boy Mo right here. As always, got my brother O. And today we have a special guest. We got our first hooper. Our first hooper on here. Everybody, please give a warm welcome to Callisha Raymond, aka what we call her Leto. Some call her Leto Bean. Hey, she out here, just
Leto
know this.
Bean.
Leto Bean. She got that nickname from Kobe Bean Bryant. That's just a little hint of y'all of how good she is on the court, y'all. We used to call her Bean, boy. But yeah, we like to welcome Callisha Raymond to the show. Welcome, sister. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, so we just gonna jump right into it. Gave you a little intro. Just tell the people about yourself, where you from, where you played your high school ball, college ball. You went the JUCO route. Jump in on that. Give us a little insight of yourself.
Okay, so I am Callisha Johnson Raymond. I have been married for 2 years now. I went to high school in Shelbyville, Tennessee. So I went to Shelbyville Central. After high school, I went to Motlow State Community College, which is like 15 minutes from my house. After there, I transferred to the University of Pikeville. And then from there, that's where I kind of ended my basketball career. But from starting going back to high school, I honestly wasn't going to play basketball in college at all. I honestly didn't dress varsity to my junior and senior year. I was more of a role player, honestly, in high school. So I just kind of played my role. I actually had a full scholarship to Tennessee State University to run track. I just done track for the fun of it, honestly. So that's why I didn't actually pursue it in college because I knew I would have to take it serious. Track was just something for me to do in the off season. So I didn't go that route. I ended up going to community college. It was kind of last minute. I didn't really have many offers coming out of college. My cousin was like, "Hey, we have an open gym. Why don't you come check it out?" I was like, "All right, cool." I went. Just played a couple games. We had like two open gyms, I think. And I just went from there. It was a full ride. I was able to stay at home the first year. The second year, I could have stayed at home too, but I wanted to actually be closer to my teammates and stuff. So I ended up staying in the house the second year. After my sophomore year, I went on a couple visits to different places, more so the NAIA route. I had a couple of D2s looking at me, but I wasn't getting financial aid due to my parents making putting me over that threshold to actually qualify for that. So it's harder for me to get scholarships or full rides with no financial help. So I went the NAIA route. When I went to the University of Pikeville, I was a little skeptical about going, honestly. The record wasn't the greatest. It was in the middle of nowhere. But honestly, me and one of my best friends, Jamie, we moved together, so that helped a lot. Our JUCO coach did kind of group us together when he sent students to the next level. So it was two of us there, two people went somewhere else. So that made the transition a little easier from JUCO to NAIA. I can tell you, JUCO honestly is not a joke when it comes to basketball. Yeah, it's on the lower level, but the competition is still up there. And you have a lot of transfers that come from NAIA and D1 and D2s that drop down to JUCO in a sense of allowing them to be able to actually play. It's easy to get a full ride somewhere, but if you sit on a bench, that ain't no fun. Like, I'm here to play basketball and I'm on a bench, so let me go somewhere where I'm actually able to show my skills and stuff like that. So my junior and senior year, I ended up at the University of Pikeville. First year there, I was second team all conference. My senior year, I was a NAIA All American honorable mention. That was a big thing for me. It wasn't something I was expected. And honestly, not many people know this, and it kind of makes me mad. I was literally 50 points away from having 2,000 points in 2 years. I didn't know that till after the season. So that was a bummer in a sense. But it is what it is. After there, I did have some offers to come to a couple combines and stuff like that. But honestly, I wanted to finish my school year or my career. I mean, my education instead of going overseas. So I didn't go that route. I also had an injury my senior year that I kind of fought through the whole year. So at the end of the year, of course, I finally went and got it checked out, and it was an ankle injury. I could have kept playing, but it was going to involve either some type of surgery or constant steroid shots. So I didn't want to go that route. So I was just like, I'll just focus on my education and kind of hang it up from there. I'm not currently around basketball like I would like to be. It is something that I do miss being around and actually playing. Every now and then I go to the gym and shoot around, but that's pretty much it as far as basketball for me right now. I did coach a couple years back before I moved to to Texas. With my sister, we coached sixth and seventh graders. No, fourth and fifth graders. We had a boys team. We didn't know none of the players. My nephew was a year older, so he wasn't with us anymore. But for us to be the bottom, kind of getting the last pick of the barrel, we actually end up coming in second place in the whole league. We were lucky and able to get a player that kind of helped our team out. But I mean, it's fun coaching. I do think about getting into it every now and then. I haven't actually made that leap of faith to actually go after that part. It's something I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. Going from basketball, I played for 20 plus years. I also played softball, ran track. Um, Being an athlete and switching over to, I guess I could say the real world, it hasn't been too much of a bad thing. The difference is it's kind of hard for me to kind of sit back and let stuff happen because I'm used to if this needs to be done, I'm gonna just go do it. I've had a couple management positions. I worked at a fast food restaurant for 3 years. I was a manager. Love being a manager. It's just fast food and customer service. Love it to death, but I just needed a break. Um, so I'm pretty decent at being a team player. I guess the biggest transition, hiccup, I would say, is kind of finding my footing on what I really want to do. I majored in communications. I know a lot of people go into film and media and editing and design and all this stuff, but I'd done those classes, but it just wasn't, that didn't click to me. So right now I'm just kind of trying to figure out where really want to go in my career. I've tried a couple different things. I've done customer service. I've done contact centers, done warehouse work. Right now I'm just trying to figure out where I really want to find that footing at. If the right opportunity comes around, Um, I'll take it. I'll try anything. I honestly did try trucking, getting my CDLs. That was a fun experience. However, that is honestly not for me. Um, it's too dangerous for me. I love driving, but those big trucks, I just can't. And then you got it. Just honestly going from a regular vehicle to being in a truck, trying it out. You see how dangerous other people are. Like cars will just cut you off and stuff like that. So I did try that. I didn't pass my test. There's no hard feelings with that. I just honestly looked at it as in like it's not for me to do. If it's for me, it would have worked. It wasn't something for me. So I just kind of right now I'm hoping to work my way up at Amazon and get out of the actual production worker level right now. I plan to work my way up to be more maybe a supervisor or something like that. Maybe something in HR. Not really sure. I'm just kind of playing it out right now to see how it goes. It's a great company. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the working world for me right now. It could change because I will try anything. I'm honestly trying to figure out just what I want to do in life myself instead of just kind of picking something or just, oh, I can do this, so let me just go that way. I'm just looking for, I guess, my purpose.
Right, right. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, man, because I
Okay.
didn't learn something about you. You had you I didn't know. Well, I think we did talk about this one time way back when, because you was actually my neighbor in college, but I didn't know you had a few track scholarships, man. What events did you run in track?
So in track, I ran the 4x1, 4x2, the open 200, the open 100. the Open 400, which I hated. And then I done high jump for 3
Okay.
years. My freshman year, I tried long jump, but that just wasn't for me. Yeah, so I was a fourth leg on the relay team. Um, I made it to state 2 years, my junior and senior year in track. We didn't make it past the preliminaries because we was a small school, but we did make the qualifying time. But once we got there, it was just for more so exposure. I went to a couple of
Yeah.
camps
Yeah.
in the summertime for track. That was a nice experience, but it was just something to try out to see if it was something I really wanted to do. Sometimes I do kind of think like, should I have gone that route? But no regrets. So
Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
Got a question for you. So, being a female athlete, it's a blessing to have you on here, so you can kind of talk to the ladies and even educate us. How was it like the culture when it came to being a female basketball player? How were y'all treated by y'all student body and fans? How were y'all treated by the administration? How were y'all treated by athletics as a whole? Were y'all getting the attention y'all needed? Were y'all getting the resources y'all needed? Go ahead, get into that, man. I want to know.
okay, so I would say in high school, I'll go to start with that first. In high school, we were very supported and backed by our community. Our team had a history of winning state championships and stuff like that. So we had full support in high school, the administration, the school, the student body. Like that was just an environment to be in based off our reputation. At my junior college, we had the support of the administration. The fans didn't really care for women's basketball. They say it's too slow. It's not enough. Like it's not exciting. So I mean, of course, depending on how you look at it, I mean, we don't play for the fans. We play for ourselves. So I was gonna do me regardless of who's in the stands. That's just how I was raised. And my junior and senior year at the University of Pikeville, I would say I was probably I was very liked, I would say that, by the administration and the athletic department based off of my athleticism. I brought a different type of energy to the program. It showed on the court. It was actually appreciated. I did get a lot of uh, praises for bringing some type of value to the program. So that was exciting. So I can say that we were supported and stuff when I got to the University of Pikeville my junior and senior year. Honestly, I was chosen my junior year to be on the committee to select the next basketball coach for the women's. I was chosen based off of me being new, not being biased or anything toward either keeping the coach or letting them go since I was an outsider. So that was a very big positive thing. My input was valued. When we interviewed these coaches, I actually got to sit in there and ask my own questions and get feedback and pick their brain on what they had, what their plans were as far as who we still had left, what they were going to bring to the table. So that was a big deal for me to be able to sit there and like sit through those interviews and be a part of that process. That really spoke a lot for the program itself and how they actually valued our concerns and stuff like that as far as having a new coach. So that was a big thing. But I would say overall, a lot of, if you can ask anybody, they'll say women's basketball is boring to them. It's slow. They don't move fast enough. It's not entertaining. But honestly, if you actually look at it, I feel like women basketball is more so of a, it's not a showboat type thing. It's more so like, this is a skill I have. This is what we practice. This is what I'm going to do. I am not trying to do all this fancy stuff. It's more so like a skill level thing, and it shows. You can have a star player on a team, but the team as a whole, the star player is not going to win you every game. It has to be collectively. So I feel like, no offense to men's basketball, but you have your star players to take over and do all the fancy stuff. But at the end of the day, the star player is not going to win you every game. Yeah, it's more to me. Women's basketball is more so a legit team sport than a couple of eyes or me or two or three people that show up every night. It needs to be more of a collective thing to me. So that's just my take on that.
Shoot, I agree with you. I know one thing just watching, NBA, even college basketball, March Madness, all that type of stuff. Uh, you're right. Men play selfish basketball. I'm a football player. Mo's a football player. 11 men on the field. We all have to do our job in order to win the game. We can have an impact player, but shoot, he could be an impact player, but if the online ain't blocking, he ain't doing nothing. But
Yeah,
I respect women's basketball because it's technical. Like you were saying, like you guys got to work as a unit. It ain't gonna be like oh no, LeBron James coaching and managing the whole
right,
team. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Making trades and stuff. Y'all got to do what you got to do as the whole entire unit. Y'all
right.
old school. Team sports, like you just said. So yeah, that's dope.
Bruh, you said you was 50 points off of 2,000 points in 2 years at University of Pikeville.
Yes.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And what's crazy is you could have got them 50 points in 2 games easily.
Yeah, and you know what? That makes me think of like those games where I had low scoring points because I averaged at least 15 to 20 a game, both years. So it's like those games where I maybe only had 5 or 6 points. It was off a game, or
Mm.
those games where I missed the free throw, or just the smallest things. I'm like, dang, I could have two more. And then it made me think of even when we went to the tournament. It's like we would have went to one more game, maybe two more
Yeah.
games. I would have been there.
Hmm.
So it was just more of a it's a good thing I didn't know, because I feel like if I would have known, it probably would have put that pressure on me to try to actually get those points. And for me, I just play. Don't put the pressure
Right.
on me to score a specific amount. Just let me play. Like if I'm aiming at a specific number, then 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna hit that number because I'm thinking about it too hard.
All right. So I got another question for you, Leto. Um, have you been keeping up with U Pike women's basketball, ever since you left? Because as you stated, you got your crew that you came in with, you guys did resurrect the program.
Um, it still pops up. I do follow the athletic page on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. So it does still come across my news feed. As far as me keeping up on a consistent basis, no. I do see that they have been doing great since I kind of graduated. I was still there for the following year. I didn't have anything to do with the program. I was working in the um, training room, of course. But I have been vaguely kind of seeing how they're doing. It looks like they're doing well. The program is it's out there and up there. They've been to the national tournament. I wasn't able to get there, um, so I do feel like I kind of set that stepping stone to get them there. And they're constantly progressing. So hopefully they are able to win it. It looks like they keep getting closer and closer. So congrats to them for continuing to grow the program as a whole.
Yeah, most def. Just a little highlight for the women's basketball. I know a few years, I want to say about 2 years after I graduated, and I think I graduated a year before you. I think that's when they went to the Final Four or something like that, or Sweet
Hmm.
16. And then fast forward to now, they actually just got past the opening round for the national tournament last night. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a little insight of that. You built them building blocks, them stepping stones, like you said. Because before you came, whoo, yeah, they wasn't looking too good. They wasn't looking too good. But yeah, Leto and Jamie came, and then we had who else we had on that team? Man, we had a whole bunch. We had some tall girls on that team. Yeah, it was pretty good. That was a pretty good team they had. But yeah, they doing pretty good now. They got a girl. She's averaging Her name's Morgan Stamper. She's averaging about, I want to say about 20 and 16, 20 and 17, something like that. I could tell you this, man. We went to a few games. Me and my wife, we went to a few games. That girl is a rebounding machine. It seemed like them rebounds gravitate towards her. I'm like, hey, that's crazy. And she ain't even that tall to be real with you. She probably about 5'10" at most.
Yeah, I think I've seen her. Is she related to Kayla Stamper?
I don't know. I
Because
don't
remember,
know.
I
See,
played
that's
with her for
yeah. I remember you
2
played with
years.
Kayla. Yeah,
She was a rebounding machine too.
but nah, this
For
girl.
her to not to be that, because I've seen that, I think, come across on my IG, and when I seen the last time, I'm wondering if, I don't know if she had a sister. I don't remember honestly, but I'm like, I wonder if
I
they
don't know.
related.
That girl could play some ball though. That girl, she grabbed the rebounds. She grabbed the rebounds. It's ridiculous how she be glass eating out there for real. But yeah, man, shout out to the women's basketball team.
I wasn't going to grab no rebounds. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't got time to be fighting with y'all down there.
Hey, bruh. Leto will go out there play ball with a whole set of nails, bruh. Talking about nails long now. She playing. She wrong.
How'd you manage to do that?
Drop 40 on them.
No, I just got used to it. My nails is done now. But there was something I always just done. At first I used to just get them done in the summer or after season was over, but I don't know, I just kind of got used to it.
She had enough. Like, nah, I want these done now during the season.
Nah.
So they was always,
40 on them.
They was short, they was not long.
She was dropping 40 on people, bro.
Dropping 40 with the nails.
Hit a step back on them, flashing the nails. Like, man, what in the world, bro? Man, oh, okay. So we gonna get off of sports a little bit. Just college etiquette. All right, college etiquette. Everybody, when you get to college, our listeners, even those, our high schoolers that's going to college, that's on their way to college, or even our listeners that are in college now, or even some old heads like us, we consider old heads now. We pushing 30, damn it. It's crazy. But
pushing, I'm there.
Oh yeah, you there? Dang.
Hey,
yeah, I still got some time.
Gotta stay
still got some time. But nah, when you go to college, man, you always have a calf crew. Always got a calf crew. Alright? Bruh. We better not have went to the calf
better not
and
go to that cafeteria without me.
and not knock on Leto door, bruh. We better not go to the calf without her and not knock on her door. Make sure she coming with us, man.
For real though, that's sacred. That group is sacred, bro. Like you gotta go to calf by yourself to sit there without your people. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're right. You got to bring all your peoples, man. You got to knock on everybody's door. Hey, at least text me. Hey, bro, you about to go to the calf, bro. Where you at? You got to go to the calf.
Hey, she used to get so mad at us, man.
Cause y'all knew better. Y'all knew better.
I walked back in the dorm. Y'all went to the calf.
Y'all knew if I wasn't at work, then we needed to go to the calf when y'all went.
For real. Man, College Square. That was fun, man. College was fun. So, we're going to keep it pushing. Bro, what made you want to get in the trucking, man?
So my husband has been driving trucks for 9-10 years.
Okay.
It was just something for us. We wanted to do something together. And it was, wanted to do something together, and we wanted to do something that allowed us to travel and make money at the same time. So that was something for us to do. And we've done it for 3-4 months. He drove, of course, while I was still trying to get my license. We went to Ohio. We've been to Ohio, Pennsylvania, a lot around Texas, different areas, Oklahoma, stuff like that. So we kind of stayed more local the last 2 or 3 months, but in the beginning we kind of went out there to see how it was in different parts of the United States. Went through Tennessee a couple of times. When we stopped, I seen my family and stuff like that. So it was just a nice experience. Something for me to try. It didn't work out. I mean, he's still driving trucks, but for me, I just felt like it wasn't only that I didn't pass the test, because I mean, you got 3 chances to take it. Pass the computer test, no problem. I can take a test all day. The driving test, I passed the part where you got to name all the parts. That was easy. It was the backing up. You have to do 3 maneuvers before you can actually drive on the road. You have to straight back, parallel park. First of all, nobody in trucking ever parallel parks. And then you have to do an offset. So the backing up was hard for me to get. And I barely back up in a regular vehicle, let alone a 53-foot truck. So that was my struggle. First couple of times, the first time on the test, I was kind of like, I wish I would have went past that. The second time, I was like devastated that I didn't pass it. I was more so heartbroken because it was like, not that I really want this, but like I felt confident in it, and it just didn't work out. The third time, I was more confident than before, but when it didn't work out, I was just like, I gave it my all. This is not what it was meant for me to do. So yeah, I could have still stayed in the truck with him and let him drive and make all the money, but it was just like I'm watching him work all by himself. You can only drive so many hours in the truck. But then they want the load there by this amount of time with one person. Some of that is just not physically possible. So it was just like, well, if I'm not able to help you here, then it's time for me to go do something else. I was a manager at Whataburger for 3 years. Loved it. Loved the store I worked at and stuff like that. But honestly, I only done that in a sense of an accomplishment type thing. Because honestly, I'm going to say this, and it may or may not make sense. I'm not really a people person. I will talk to people all day long, but you have to know me. Yeah. So for me to go into customer service was like pushing me out of my comfort zone. So that was the first thing. And then for me to kind of move up in the company, that was another thing. So it was just, I can see myself doing this, so let me not sell myself short and not actually try to do it. So that's the same thing with trucking. I can see myself doing it. Let me just give it a try. So that was that. It was just something to try. It didn't work out. Time to move on to something else. Honestly, I don't know what that something else is right now. Could be Amazon in the future. Right now, I'm just doing it to kind of get me back active. Because I was in the truck for 4 months. I didn't do no activity. I was sitting there. So I'm trying to get back active. So being at Amazon helps. I can say from the little time I've been there, I was a learning ambassador, which is teaching new hires what we do. That was pretty cool, but it just made me realize I didn't want to train people or have people not look up to me, but kind of come to me for the answers in a sense, because it's a warehouse and stuff's always changing, and I didn't feel kind of like I knew everything I needed to know for me to help you. So I was like, let me just step away from this and learn the system itself before I continue to go forward. So right now I'm still learning how the other part of logistics works, because I mean, it's all logistics. So I'm just going on that avenue right now. I don't know if there's something I'll continue to pursue, or if I'll actually find something else that better kind of suits what I want to do, which I'm still trying to figure that part out too.
Quick question for you, right? You said you worked at Whataburger. What's your favorite thing at Whataburger? I love the spicy ketchup. I like the melts. Them sandwiches, man. The little melts. You know what I'm talking about. You worked there.
The patty melts.
The patty melts, boy.
That ain't so fire.
Yeah. You ever put bacon on yours?
Oh
No.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I ain't never did that.
You never put bacon on a patty melt?
I ain't put it on there.
And that spicy
My favorites.
Go ahead.
My favorite sandwich from there is the sweet and spicy bacon burger. And it is pretty good. But it comes with, of course, everything comes with mustard. I either tell them go easy on the mustard or take it off, because they be putting too much on there. I already know that. But per the policies of the company, that's how much is supposed to go on there. And then for breakfast, I don't have a particular breakfast item. I can say that we haven't used it lately, but the honey butter sauce is one of we use that here at the house, honestly, even though I don't work there, but we buy that faithfully.
Right. I remember, isn't that like a honey butter chicken biscuit that they had?
Yeah, that
man.
Biscuit.
Man, that was my favorite thing from Whataburger. That honey butter chicken biscuit in the morning. But them patty melts, yeah. I gotta make my way back out to Texas. All right. So could you tell us like your process of actually how was the process of actually like buying and selling your own house? Like what was more strenuous, or what was weighed more on your mental?
So buying the house, honestly, I guess it depends on how you go about it, but it wasn't really that strenuous, I would say. The process for other people, this is on my own personal experience. It wasn't really that hard. You'll talk to some people and they'll tell you buying a home is hard. So for us, it was a pretty easy process. We got to pick out our lot, things of that nature. I will say that we didn't actually do more research on what we wanted. We just kind of, this is what we found, this is what we're going to go with. It was a great experience. Of course, it was a starter home. So now I know what we do and don't want. Even though I love the house, but it's just, you just kind of find your way with that. The buying process was fairly easy for us. We got to pick out everything. The only thing I will say, I know toward the end, it kind of got like kind of annoying, because once you get closer to actually closing, they want everything, like all your bank statements and stuff from the past year, and you got to be able to explain, oh, why did this person send you money? It was a gift. I don't know. Like, so it's just stuff like that, but they just have to cross their T's and dot their I's, so it's just part of the process. So that part was kind of like, ugh, like all this unnecessary stuff and repetitiveness. Selling a home, we were kind of on the fence about it, with the whole pandemic and stuff like that, but it was an easy process. The realtor we went with was great. He kind of made the transition smooth. Our biggest reason for doing that was allowing me to get rid of my student loan debt, even though at first I wasn't worried about that. I pay y'all this little amount for the rest of my life. I didn't care. But it gave me that understanding that this is something to help us go forward in our future. Since I have been doing more self-development and stuff like that, so it allowed me to actually see what I'm able to do. So us selling the home, I was able to get that off my back. And at first I was just like, if we pay it off, it ain't gonna make no difference. I'm gonna feel the same. But it's actually a different feeling. It's something you don't have to worry about. It's something to help us in our future. As far as you can never be in the best financial position and stuff like that when you have children, but it does kind of help us out. That's one less thing we have to worry about. It's going to help us as far as going forward and buying other properties or whatever we want to do. So that was the biggest thing for that. I'm still working on understanding how credit and stuff like that works, even though I'm financially free. Like, you still have to, there's a good side and a bad side to that. Like the good side is, yeah, you don't have any debt. The bad side is when you want to buy stuff, um, make big purchases like buying homes and stuff like that. They want to see that history. So it's like they need that longevity of you paying on your student loans to kind of be like, okay, this person is dedicated or consistent and paying their bills and stuff. Not in the sense of people, oh, they can pay this out in 3 or 4 years, then they're gonna do the same thing because in the end they want to continue to get the money as long as they can. You asked me something else.
Oh, how was the process of like getting debt free? How did that feel?
That was easy, but it was something that I wasn't too worried about, honestly. It wasn't high on my priority list at first. So my husband and I, we made a vision board. So that was something for us to do together. So it made me think of like what I really wanted in the future and how some of these long-term goals can be shortened. So it was like if I want to be debt-free and I want to say that I've bought and sold a home and no more student loan debt, then it's like these are the steps to take toward that. So it's like once I put that vision out there, we kind of followed through and kind of stayed on course for that. So it wasn't a difficult process. That was honestly the biggest thing I had on my credit was the student loan debt. Even though with the pandemic and all that stuff, I wasn't making payments due to the default. But it was just like, let's just get it out the way. We don't have to worry about that. We can continue to go forward. So I have seen a spike in my credit score. So that's a plus. Now we're working on just using it in the right way. So that's our next thing. We may get a truck in the future, 18-wheeler and stuff like that. But right now, that's not the right thing for us to do. So we're just trying to put ourselves in the best position to be in a good place financially to do that with ease and learn more about the whole process of owning a business and starting a business and all that stuff. We're still learning about the trucking world because, of course, it changes every day. It's completely different now. But that is something that we could possibly want to do in the future is own a couple of trucks and not actually be in them, but just to give other people that opportunity that was given to us in a sense to be able to do that. So I don't know. I keep saying I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but honestly, I don't know when that time comes if that's really what I want to do. I do know I want to be able to take that time off and spend the first couple of years at home with my children when the time comes. So if we're in a better place financially to do that, then that's probably what I'll do and then kind of go from there.
He was just kind of going back. My fiance, her dad actually, he owns a couple trucks. Him and his brother, and he has like two people he hired. I think he has like 4 trucks in total. They go do their loads locally. That man brings in bank. So shoot, if you pursue that, to, buy a couple trucks and getting people driving them, driving off them loads. I did some of that paperwork and I see the money coming in. So it's definitely possible.
Yeah, it's possible, and that could be something we leave to our children in a sense too, another asset if we keep it that long. Which I'm sure if we actually go that route, it'll be around for a while. But that's something we've thought about as far as real estate and rental properties and stuff like that. So we're in the hopes of bringing in some assets that'll be able to be left for generations. So that's the plan.
Generational wealth is important, man. For real. For real, shoot. Once you're gone, shoot. At least you know your kids are good, and the kids after them, have a shot. Versus you've been gone like that, and then
Right.
boom, everyone's kind of struggling, and boom, boom, boom. Hey, how do I pay for the funeral? How do I pay for this? Mom has some debt. It's coming down on me now, whatever. So shoot, a lot of people don't really think about that stuff. But I got a quick question for you, right? So you were talking about how you're trying to find your your meaning of work. I've been having that issue myself. How do you keep a strong mental state? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of uncertainty when you can't find something you want to do for the rest of your life when it comes to, work and getting an income. How do you kind of stay mentally strong? Because a lot of people, that could break a lot of people, and then they kind of just, kind of give up and, kind of, take less versus chasing more, if that makes any sense.
So for me, it's the constant, I guess, evaluation. Like I said earlier, I working on self-development. So I feel like with that, that's allowing me to kind of see what I really like to do and what I would enjoy doing longevity, and what's something that's not just easy to do. It's easy to find something that you like to do, but then you also have to think of like, okay, well, I need to do this, but it may not pay the money you want it to pay. So with me, I've done a bunch of different jobs as well. It's just staying confident in yourself that eventually what you're looking for will come your way. Try not to take I try not to take even though with me just working at Amazon, I try not to take it for granted, because you never know um, where that position or the position that you're in may lead to. So if you're just kind of looking at it as in like, oh, I'm just working a job just to work a job, like, do it to your best ability. You never know who's watching. You may get that side talk one day like, hey, you've been here a couple of years. Have you ever thought about doing this? Also talking to my friends in a sense. They'll give you, I know for me personally, it's not like they'll tell you more about yourself than you realize. So me talking to them, they kind of was like, well, that's really not like, this is from my point of view of you, this is what I could see you doing, or this is what you're good at. This is what you're not so good at. Like, so for me, talking to them kind of helps because they let me see a different perspective. Some stuff that I didn't think I was good at that end up being a strong suit. Some stuff that I think I'm good at, I realize like that's really not my strong suit right now. So really just staying positive, working hard regardless of the situation that you're in. I have actually changed my mindset when it comes to working, and it's not working just to work in a sense, is working for a purpose. So until I figure out that purpose, I'm gonna just keep going.
And then one more question for you, right? I have a little 1 year old. She's about to be 2 in September, right? Hopefully she plays for sports. Hopefully basketball. I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'5". She's tall. She's taller than normal for a baby her age. What advice do you have to female athletes to keep, to stick it out, work as hard as you can, don't worry about the outside noise, don't worry about the perception of, oh, you play women's basketball, you ain't, blah, 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 you know how it is. So what's your advice to, to them younger girls out there in the world when it comes to being an athlete, a female athlete, sticking to it, being
to
great?
constantly believe in yourself. I know I had that moment when I was in high school where I was just like, maybe basketball isn't for me. I felt like opportunities were kind of taken away based off of the role I played in basketball. I honestly felt like growing up, I was always in the wrong position. But I was the shortest person on the team and small, like physical wise. So they like, oh, you're the point guard. First of all, I dribble too high. So this is not where I need to be. But I didn't know that that wasn't the position I was meant to be in. I didn't know till I got to college and was like, oh, like I'm better at doing this that I didn't realize because I was always put somewhere else. So honestly, keep believing in yourself. Don't doubt yourself.